So what is your name and where are you from?
Louise Gaffney. I'm in California near San Francisco.
Okay,
I
how
was
did you originally hear? Huh? Go ahead.
born and raised in Vancouver, moved to the States when I was 30.
Ah, okay. How did you originally hear about my company?
I was on YouTube trying to figure out a song, and you came up. And so then I just thought, I like this way. But again, I thought maybe it's cheating a little because the conservatory. But I thought, I like this. And I like the way that you would break it down. So that's how. So it
Excellent.
just made me want to like learn more about you and learn more about that way of playing.
Okay, wonderful. And I have to tell you guys, I have to tell you that I'm really learning. I'm loving meeting you guys because you feel like you know me. I'm feeling like I'm finally getting to know all you people, and you're just the most wonderful people. All right, the next question: what did you like most about learning from my method?
Um, so I would say I like the way that the notes are written out. So it takes away that step of looking at a note and then having to, in your mind, change the F to an F. So it's just there. And the fact you break it up and that you're so encouraging about acknowledging that, yeah, this is a little tough. Just work on this, you'll get it. And you can always change it around, and you show different ways of like dummy. I don't want to say dumbing it down, but that's sort of
Yeah.
um um and that's what I love. I just really do. And the way that you do your mannerism, your um you just feel like I said, when I seen you today, I thought, I feel like I know you because
You do.
I've
You
spent
do.
hours with you. So
You do know me. Yeah. All right, now I'm knowing you. All right, so next one. What makes my method different from other online piano lessons?
the other ones suck. The other ones I just don't like. They're because I don't know, there's sort of an attitude with the other channels where they just, I don't know, because obviously they're not doing your method. I don't know anybody who does your method. So they just do the regular methods, and they go too fast. They're just not as personable. They don't make it, they just aren't encouraging. I don't know. It's stuffy.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think Louise, a lot of these people that do online lessons, they play really well, but I think they maybe have grown up a little too late because they go straight into online stuff and they never actually have experience with a real person teaching somebody real. And I'm going to be 51 this year, and I've taught since I was 16 years old, and I've had a little kid or an adult, whatever, sitting on the bench with me for 35 years, and so you kind of you get a feeling of what most people are going to need, where they need encouragement, what they need help on, what they need to alter for them. So I think that's what some of these new online teachers are missing. They don't have that actual experience with a person, and nothing can replace that other than being with people. So that's my 10 cents on that.
I think that's what it feels like. It feels like you're bringing it to a point where you understand, like when you're teaching how to do it, and you're doing like it in a certain part of the song, and you're breaking it down. The way you explain it is almost on, if depending on it, you can be lots of different levels of how well you can play the piano, and you do it so that it doesn't matter what level you are. You bring it to,
Yeah.
you say it in a way that if you're just learning it,
Wonderful.
you explain it that way also.
Thank you. And before I want to ask it before I forget about it, but I would love if you would send me a video after you play for this concert. I would even if you make mistakes, I would love to have that. Would love to see you play. I really would.
Okay, but only for your eyes only. Like
Okay. All right.
okay, okay.
And I'll promise that. I'll just watch it myself. I won't post it. I won't, show it to anybody. But I would love to hear you play.
Okay.
Next one, on a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied are you with my lessons?
10,
Wonderful to hear.
10, 10, hands down.
Yeah.
I talk about you all the time. Like I talk about Shawn. And so now, like, if anybody hears me say Shawn, they know I'm talking about you. I don't have to say Shawn from YouTube or So
Wonderful,
yeah.
wonderful. And I like. I always think there's room. If I were to give myself, a number, I wouldn't do 10 because I always think there's room for improvement, and I'm always trying to get better. I never think I'm there. I think once you say, "Oh, I'm here," then you start dropping off. So I always want to feel like there's room for improvement for me too. Last questions. I think is that the last one, Evan? Yes. Would you recommend a family member or a friend, and why?
I have recommended, because you make it doable, and you can make it so that you can be successful. Someone can depend, it doesn't really matter what level, the way that you have the songs, the where you can on your channel,
Yeah.
on your where you have the songs like easy, moderate, whatever. That then if you're not a very good piano player, you can go to the easy,
Yeah.
and it really makes it so that you can feel successful. So yeah, I highly recommend you.
Well,
And
thank you for
actually,
that.
my last time I played, somebody said, it was Junk from Paul McCartney,
Okay.
and you
Yeah.
wrote it. I asked you to write it for me, and I had somebody come up and say, I really want that music. Where'd you get it? So I told them. So
Well, thank you for that. I'm feeling really good about myself. I wanted to ask you too. Do you realize or appreciate? Because something for me is I want to get as close to the original as I can. Because one thing I found with sheet music, it's always kind of altered in a way that doesn't sound like the album version. So if we're in love with a record or something, we want to play what we heard. I want to play what this person is playing, the music that I love. And so I've always tried to give people exactly what they're playing and make it as close as I can to that. Sometimes I'll take from a vocal line or from a bass part or something so that the song sounds as much as it can like the original on a solo piano. Do you notice that? And if you do, or do you appreciate that? Is that something you care about?
well, that's part of the reason I think you're so good, is that you do that, and then you can monkey around with it yourself. Like if I want to change it a little bit for me, and it makes it so that I can play with my husband who plays the guitar.
Right.
So it's able to do that. Um, the fact you took Paint It Black from an orchestra and made it into a
That was
piano piece.
fun.
I mean, oh
That
my
was fun.
gosh, that is just blows my mind. And it sounds the same. I can actually practice with that playing to sort of get
Oh,
there,
wow.
I
You've
mean,
got to
that's
send me a
how
recording of that.
that's spot on. So yes, I love
Well,
it.
thank Yeah, great. And I mean, you're really good if you can play any part of that because that's the expert level. And I realize I did make that one expert, didn't I? That's got to be. Did I put expert on that? I
No,
had to.
I think you did.
Yeah, sometimes I try to leave a little room for something harder, but that one I had to put it expert. And not very many people will ever be able to even attempt that. So you should feel really good about yourself that you can do it. And I mean, I get emails all day, for 20 years about what people are having problems with, what they can play, what they can't. And there's just a handful of people on the website that will ever be able to attempt that one, and you're one of them. So you should feel really good about yourself that
Wow,
you're one of those few.
thank
So,
you.
is there any? We still have a little time left. Any questions you have for me, or anything you were
Um,
wondering?
well, I appreciate like hearing about like your background. Um, and do I have any questions? Actually, I do have a question. So you might actually have it, and I just didn't see it on your site. So like if I ever was having a problem and I was struggling with something, do you do lessons where like you can zoom in and work with someone? Do you do
I'm
that?
going to start doing. I was always afraid to do that because I thought it would get overwhelming for me. But now that I've been doing this, because we've actually getting some help on advertising and marketing and all of that. And there are a lot of people that do this sort of thing, and not everybody wants to do Zoom. And so I'm going to start trying to do that. And yes, I would. And for you especially, anytime you need something, you want to send a video of you trying something or you need help on a little part, go ahead and send it to me. We'll do something on Zoom. It's real easy. I mean, you can see I'm in my studio. All I do is I didn't know it was this easy to do this for one thing. I just send a link and you hop on. But anytime I'm offering that to you, okay? So anything that you need help on, you can just email me and we'll do a Zoom thing within a couple of days and help you out on it. I love that though. I love that you guys feel you already know me. I mean, I guess my oldest videos have my kids on there screaming and
Oh, I haven't
and
seen that.
yeah, huh?
I didn't see,
You
I
haven't seen that? Well,
haven't
you can
seen those.
hear it in the older videos. You can hear because I had two little ones in diapers. Like one of them is behind the computer right now running the show, but they were in diapers and they would just create havoc. And I finally just let the camera keep running because I'm like, I'm never going to get anything done, if I keep stopping it. So I would even in the middle of a video just get up and go change a diaper and then come back. So
Well,
sometimes there's a space
actually,
there where I'm not even there on the camera. But anyway, it's great to meet you. You're in California, is that what you said?
yeah, just
Okay,
at a
whereabouts?
staff, um, between San Francisco and San Jose, like near Stanford University
Oh,
area.
okay. Yeah, yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like Ryan's your husband, right? Is that right?
No,
Oh, he's not. Okay. Who is Ryan?
I don't, I don't know who Ryan is.
Oh
You
my
said,
goodness. Okay. All right. Well, there's another Gaffney, and I figured that you two that y'all were husband and wife because I was getting emails at the same time from a Ryan Gaffney and from you, and you were talking about your husband plays, and so I thought it was the same person. So you don't even know who Ryan Gaffney is. Okay. All right.
there you go.
Made an
No,
made an assumption there.
my husband plays the guitar.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was so weird. Because I was getting well, a lot of my members will play guitar, several instruments at a time. So, but I was getting emails from him and from you at the same time, and you were talking about he plays, and and he's also getting ready for some sort of concert. So, golly, okay, now I have it
funny.
straight. Wonderful. So, if you don't mind, just tell me about your journey in music. Like, how did you start out? Did you take traditional piano lessons, like learning to read notes, and what led you to my stuff later? And what have you done? What have you done musically?
So, when I was, I don't know, like 9 or 10, I started taking lessons, conservatory lessons, like
Okay.
up in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And I got to like grade 3 and I didn't really want to play anymore. So my parents said, you can play any kind of music you want if you
Okay.
just take lessons. So I did Beatles music
Okay.
and I did it through high school, but I really, whenever I'd start to practice in the house, I'd hear like these sighs from family members, like, "Oh, brother, here we're gonna have to listen to her."
Uh-huh.
So but that in a negative way affected
Yeah.
me, my practicing.
Uh,
So then I moved out, did all that, and didn't have a piano for years.
yeah.
And then when I moved to the States, when I was 30, I got a piano. But then I had little kids, and so just plunked here and
Oh
there.
yeah.
And then about 5 years ago, um, that's when my last daughter went to college and that. So then I just started playing again.
Hmm.
And um and so like I had lots of time. So then the other thing that got me going was we have this fam jam once a year where a friend of my husband's sets this thing up and all these families come, and as long as you do anything you can come, like you could play
Okay.
spoons or anything. And
And it's
some
a
people
neighborhood thing.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and the good thing is some people are really bad. So
Okay.
so I have a terrible fear of playing in front of people, like
Okay.
even Robert.
Yeah.
And I think it stems back to the fact that when I was little, that sigh when I would go to
Yeah.
practice kind of
Hey, I
bumps
want
in
to.
my head.
I don't know if this helps you any, but people still do that to me to this day. My family will do that if I sit down and play because they, and it's not that the music's good or bad. They're just not ready to hear live music in the house, I think.
Oh,
And I'm sorry that that happened to you, but I do hear that it's so important when you're a kid, especially to have that positive reinforcement. And so, yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you. But I've gone through that too. And my dad, used to just to have to make me quit. He would be so angry, and then I would be at late at night under my covers with my keyboard playing, and then he would hear it, and get mad at me. So I kind of went through the same thing too.
so
But
I've actually said to friends who have young kids, I said, get them a keyboard with headphones.
yeah,
So that way they don't have to worry about anybody listening. And so that's my advice to people who
Yeah.
have kids that are. So then so this fam jam thing, and I was so nervous. And then I thought to myself, when I'm like 90, I'm going to look back and go, why did you just do it? Like, why did you
Right.
care? Who cares? So that's why I did it. And every
Mhm.
year we do it. It's the same thing. I always make a mistake,
Yeah.
and or two or three, even though I wouldn't normally.
Uh-huh.
And but I just make myself do it, and I always feel better
I was
afterwards.
going to ask you, how do you feel after you do it? Okay.
Um, I always feel better because I made myself do it, and I go,
Okay.
it
Good.
would have been
Good.
so easy not to.
So
And
it's never, the nervousness always comes back and you never feel a little bit more confident the next time. You don't think you do?
because I play once, and then a year goes by,
A
and
year.
then I
Yeah.
play.
Yeah. Right. And I have to tell people too, I still get nervous. And a guy yesterday, he goes, man, sometimes I just feel like I suck. And I said, so do I sometimes. And he didn't believe me, but I
I
do. Sometimes I feel today I'm just stink. I can't play. And, for what I try to do, and I'll feel that way as well. So we all go through it, and, I think and I
I
still get nervous. I'm getting ready for a gig here at the house with my son, my wife. We're going to sing. In fact, the fact that you did that kind of got me thinking about doing that here, because we're going to start gigging. He's amazing on guitar. My son is, and I will get nervous doing that, and it never goes away. It never doesn't matter how good you are, how much you've done it. I think that's still something that's with you, and you always make mistakes, but you just keep going.
I think it's really funny because sometimes I'll sit down and I will, it's like I've never seen piano
Yeah.
music before. Like I've never seen a keyboard. It's like this void, and it's the most surreal feeling. But anyhow, yeah. And my husband plays all the time, so he has like no fear
Yeah.
of playing. So I play a song solo, and then there's about 35 people. And then my husband and our friends, the four of us, do a song
Okay.
together. And then my husband plays a bunch of other songs with other people. But
So what are you doing for
um
the solo this
and
year?
well, I'm gonna do Paint It Black. It's
Okay.
my solo.
I'm
Now the
amazed that you're
thing is
playing
though,
that. Yeah,
okay, so
that's a
two
tough one,
two
man.
okay, two things. One, I just am getting better. 3 months ago I got CSF, like a leak in my spinal fluid.
Oh,
So
oh,
I've been in the hospital 3 times. I've been in bed like for 2 months where I had to lay flat.
uh-huh.
It's like when your fluid sort of just drains out of your head and just goes down.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so they're trying to find so that's not an excuse, but
Okay.
so I wasn't able to play the piano for like, I don't know, over 2 months.
Uh-huh.
So I just started playing again. And in that painted black on that left hand where you're doing the galloping part, like,
Yeah,
so not my muscle memory, my muscles in my hand are getting to that point where I can do it again.
good.
So I'm working on that. But so I'm really glad to hear you tell me it's hard, because
Oh
I
yeah.
thought
I had
maybe
to
I'm getting
practice
all.
that for 2 or 3 days before I did it. And
It
I'm,
took me
professional. Yeah.
Okay, it took me 2 or 3 months, because, and I thought I'm getting dementia. Like, why am I having such a hard time with this song? Like,
Hmm.
I
Because it's
just
hard.
so I have it. I can do it, and I've made my own little adjustments.
Good,
Like,
good. Right. I want you
so
to do that. Yeah.
um so yeah, so I did that, and I kind of like that.
Yeah.
The one that you did for me, maybe I'm amazed, maybe I'm amazed,
Okay.
by Paul
Paul
McCartney.
McCartney. Yeah. Hmm.
So that song that you did for me, so my friends played the electric guitar, my husband played the guitar. That song was so sweet when we played it. Like, it was the best that we've ever done. Like, it was, so I just want
Wow.
to tell you that.
Love that song.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I'm glad to be a small part of what you're doing here. I wanted to ask you, when you went to the Beatles, when after the conservatory life, which I went through that too. It's very rigid, very. It gets it makes a lot of people who would normally play music be sour on it and never do it again. So I don't, like the conservatories for some of those reasons. I mean, they're great if you're going to be a classical pianist and you're trying to do all those things. But if you just want to play songs you like, they're like one of the worst places you can go. But when you left that and you went to start playing Beatles, was it a by ear thing? Were you still reading notes? What were you doing?
Reading notes. So
Okay.
I don't have the ability of just sitting down. Like I have a really hard time playing with my husband with guitar because I don't know how to just do chords in the
Sure.
background, or
Okay.
so I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't. I just so I have to read music. I have to practice it, and I'm just not good enough to just to just play. I don't know how to do it. I
So if
don't know
someone,
how.
but if your husband said, I'm playing a G chord, would you know how to do that? Would you know how to play the whatever chord he would say?
If a guitar's playing a G chord,
Yeah.
yeah, I can do chords. I know
You could
what
do
the chords
chords?
are.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you one little tip here on doing that. Listen to how
Okay.
he's strumming and then play the guitar on the piano. If he does this and he's going dun dun digga dun dun digga dun dun, it's a drum thing. It's like you're playing the bongo.
Okay.
So all of a sudden you're able to do it. You probably can do it. You just haven't unlocked that one door to get you in there. But yeah, just watch what he's doing, and then you do what he's doing on the piano. Do his feel his rhythm, and then that might open a door for you there. But I wanted to ask you too. So as far as my method goes, how did that attract you? How did you first find me? What was the first song? What are your thoughts on the method that I use? Because I haven't found anybody else who quite does
O-
it the way I do it, and I was just wondering what you thought about that.
Okay. So I was thinking about what was the first one. I can't remember what the first one was where I found you. But
Okay.
so I found you, and then I do remember, like like you had the lesson, and then to get the rest of it, you had to, like, I joined. So I joined, um and so like it uh you opened a whole door, like, and I'm not joking. You made it so that I play all the time. If it wasn't for
Oh,
you, I
wonderful.
wouldn't. I wouldn't be.
I
And
love to hear that.
I am dead serious. I
Yeah.
am 100% not lying. You completely changed my life when it comes to music. I
Well,
wouldn't
you
be
just made my
playing.
week. That's the thing
Well,
I love to hear the most. Yes, because I have kind of a heart for people who really love something, but they've been, for whatever reason, they weren't able to do it. There's been a hurdle or something like that in their life, and I'd love to hear that they play now, and I was somehow a part of them enjoying the thing that they love. So that does me more good than anything hearing that story. Thank you for
so
saying that.
the way you do it, the way that you do it, um, is, I mean, I feel like because of the conservatory, so with the notes written out instead of,
Yeah,
like, I felt like I was cheating. Like, I've just this conservatory,
they
like,
put
you
that in
have
your
to,
mind.
I know. So I'm just like this militant. So, and then the way you break it down, it's like, okay, yeah, all right, I got that. And then the way you explain it, and then when you go, okay, now this is going to be a little tough. You'll get it. You just need to practice this one part and don't worry about it. And
Yeah,
it just brings everything in. So you're not looking at this whole song, and you
yeah.
bring it in and you just make it. The way that you do that is huge. Like, that's really great. And also, like, just the way that you kind of, like, say, you know what, it's okay, this is hard, or,
Yeah.
but just, you'll just practice this one, and if you can't do it this way, do it this way, and don't worry about it. So that is
Made you feel
huge.
comfortable.
Yes, yes,
Good,
big
good.
time. So
Wonderful. So the method works for you, the letters instead of, and it's
huge.
funny you said you felt like you were cheating. I'm not against note reading. I think it's a great skill to have, but some people just need a different way to do things. It's not cut out for everybody. And there's other ways to play, even besides mine. And I think any way that's going to help you play the music you love is good. And it's, to me, it's not cheating if it works for you. And but I being in that, because I went the other way. I went classical all the way. I was at the University of North Texas, and I was actually practicing to be in the Van Cliburn competition. And then I finally said, you know what? I hate this. Hated the competition. I hated this high level of expectation that you had to be at all the time, every performance. And I was just miserable, but I thought that's what I'm supposed to be doing, but I just had enough of it, and I just quit. And that's when I started to learn, rock and roll music and all these fun music, the Beatles and everything. And you're right, the conservatory kind of looks down on the Beatles and other things, and doing anything. If you wrote in the letters, on a piece of sheet music, they would kick you out. So I hate that they make people feel that way.
I do like the way a lot more where you write the notes, the way that you did, where you wrote it out for me for like paint it black. So it
I just started that.
Okay, I love that. Like
Good.
that way is my favorite way that you do it.
Good. I wish I had, and for everybody who wants to see that, there's I have the staff behind it now so that it helps people who have a background in reading music. But if you're just used to my notes and you don't read music at all, it doesn't hurt you any. It still looks like it always has, but having that just lightly in the background, the staff helps people who have a music reading background, I think. So I wish I had started earlier, but thank you for saying that. I'm getting feedback that everybody likes this, so I'm going to continue to do that. I'm even trying to redo some of the old favorites in this style, so that's great.